Is big oil's profit party finally winding down? Todd Schoenberger, editor of The Diligent Investor, says the party is just getting started. Gentlemen, good morning to you both.
Morning.
Todd, let me ask you, what's the bullish picture for the outlook here? I did notice this morning on Exxon, even though the price of oil has come down, they still managed to make their margins fatter when it comes to selling gasoline.
Well, you bet. Well, ExxonMobil is a great example, but big oil, we're just getting started right now. We did have a blip, obviously. We were off 20% plus since our highs in mid-July. But right now, we've probably seen our lows that we're going to see for the year just last week. Futures are up about 4.5% in a week. Demand is increasing. Weather, it's obviously getting colder now, so there's going to be a stronger demand for heating oil. So right now, big oil is on deck to really have a great run from here on out.
Why do you like the big oil names?
I like the big oil names because they're great for investors. Companies like ExxonMobil, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, they realize they have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. And I'm a big oil bull. I think oil is going to continue to rise or will rise in the future based on just seasonality, also some geopolitical concerns. And with higher oil prices, that means higher prices at the pump, which means higher revenues for these companies, which is great for shareholders.
Are you as disgusted as I am?
Absolutely, Michelle. This is BP's second pipeline problem since March. They can't seem to get their act together. We already have to worry about where we're getting our oil from the Middle East, from anywhere, and now we have to worry domestically.
Where is the money going? Why aren't they fixing this? And they've had complaints for many years now from whistleblowers who said that they haven't been investing and preventing this corrosion, which has become problematic.
Well, you're right, and here's the big problem. This was from a routine inspection, and guess what? Only 40% of their pipelines have been inspected so far. I'm not saying they're going to have further problems down the road, but it's not looking good for the company.
Joining us from Chicago, Todd Schoenberger, Director of Brokerage with USAA. Todd, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Mark. Thank you for having me.
What do you think? We're overstored, so to speak, on biofuels?
Well, the issue with biofuels is that it's difficult to get that to the distributors. And keep in mind, we have 170,000 gas stations in this country, yet we only have 1,200 that have an E85 pump. The issue there is that you can't get it out to the coast, and you can't transport it via pipelines because of the genetic makeup. It corrodes the pipes. So as a result, you can't get it out to the customers. There's no other choice, but I would stay away from ethanol.
And Todd Schoenberger, he's the senior equity analyst at The Diligent Investor. Welcome to both of you. Todd, I got to ask you right now, you're the oil guy. We're at $70 in oil, but we've had a tough time getting below $70. Do we stand a chance of that happening anytime soon?
No, we do not, Bob, and I'll tell you why. The traders are clearly relieved right now about what happened with this hurricane. It's not going into the Gulf, which is a big relief. The problem, though, is that we have some serious geopolitical concerns that are going to be happening that traders are going to have to deal with. And it's not just this week. It's probably going through September, October, and November. And not to mention the fact this is only August 28th. We could still have a serious hurricane. This just goes to show you how powerful hurricanes can be to the price of a barrel of crude. Well, there are concerns about the dollar in Europe, and it's probably a good time to start looking at gold again. But speaking of the markets here in the U.S., I'm thinking in December we're not going to have the customary Santa Claus rally. We'll probably have a Christmas correction, and we'll probably start seeing some selling pressures beginning with the trading today.
Yeah, what's going to drive that? Are you a buyer of the argument that the typical seasonal rally was just pushed forward a couple of months?
Definitely am. As a matter of fact, well, you know, historically, December is a great performing month for the markets, but that's usually following a dismal performance time in September and October, and we all know the history of October for the markets. But moving forward, though, or what we just saw in October, we actually saw the S&P rise 3.2%. So we probably pre-rallied, so don't be surprised if you start seeing some sell-offs, especially from some of the active fund managers. They want to lock in some of these gains in 06.
Todd, anybody care what OPEC says anymore?
Well, they're starting to become a little irrelevant, and I think their story today is going to be important for traders at the Merc, and Eric can talk about this a little bit more than I can, but they really need to come out, and if they're going to say 1 million barrels are cut per day, who is actually doing the cutting? Are the Saudis coming in? Are they going to participate, or are we going to be looking at other countries like Venezuela and Nigeria?
Todd brings up a great point. For years we've said, don't even listen to what OPEC says. They rarely do what they say, and they rarely say what they're doing. So take that rhetoric, throw it out the window, find out what they're producing. The reality is if they don't get a 1 million barrel cut, you'll probably see $5 lower in price. I think you will get that cut, so you may end up finding a bottom here. But typically down here we trade it, we don't even listen to that.
Todd Schoenberger, Eric Bolling, great to have you both here.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.